everyone, this is Travis from the Dana and Travis Show. I personally want to thank every one of you for liking us on Facebook and checking out the podcast on YouTube. If you have any ideas or requests for the show, please email us at danaandtravisshow@gmail.com. Once again, we'd like to thank every one of you for listening to the podcast, and we really hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.
You're listening to a Collapsar Digital Studios production.
Live from Bloomfield, Indiana, you're listening to the Dana and Travis Show.
Greetings and well wishes. I'm Dana,
And I'm Travis.
broadcasting to you live from Collapsar Digital Studios in Bloomfield, Indiana, bringing forth the knowledge of the universe in 60 minutes.
We hope you enjoy the show.
All right, episode 4. Welcome everybody. This is Dana,
And I'm Travis.
and we're gonna do another show for you tonight. It's been a busy week. What's been happening, Travis?
Oh, just out and about here and there. It's not too sunny out right now. It's raining, but I guess that's what you can get with at the very end of spring, going on into summer.
Oh yeah, make the grass grow. I think it's gonna be pretty much rainy all week, so it's gonna really suck.
Yeah. Well, we're sorry about last week's episode that we didn't get to. Dad was kind of busy with something.
Yes, all apologies. I was out of state most of the week last week and didn't get in till late, and we kind of missed the show last week, but we'll try to make it up this week.
Yeah, it might not be as long as what we're usually gonna do, but we still have a couple interesting things to talk about. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
But first things first, how you can contact us. You can email us at danaandtravisshow@gmail.com. Like and share us on Facebook. We would really appreciate it if you would do that. And you can also tweet us at Dana and Travi. Also, too, I did get receive one suggestion on our Facebook page, and we're always taking in all suggestions. I think we got a suggestion for us wanting to do possibly live streaming, possibly.
Cool.
Which that's something we might consider later on if we can get better equipment. Look a little more professional, have a little bit more to talk about, and
Yeah, we're still trying to tweak this thing, so we might mix it up periodically and just try new things, and if they work out, great. If they don't, we'll do something else.
yeah, we'll figure it out. We were just talking a minute ago before we started recording. Every Friday at Bloomfield Square they have a farmers market. When I drove by Friday, I mean, it was really hopping. There's a lot of people who go out to it, and we're always looking to try to get our show out to more people. And
Yeah, it's a really cool concept too. Of course, there's obviously the local produce that's there, but different things. Some people have some products of things they make and are selling.
yeah, and I know there's going to be some people there doing some music and stuff like that, and we got thinking, it's like, why not possibly do a live Dana and Travis show there?
I think that would rock, and I think that all of our listeners would just really enjoy that.
Yeah, and it'd be a chance that we can, depending on how people respond to it, we might be able to do that a once a week thing, and you never know, we might be able to bring people together through our podcast. You never know.
Yeah, I think it's got potential. Definite potential.
Yeah, another thing, thought, go down there, set up a table, and have like take people's email, get like an email newsletter, or you give us our email, and then we can send you the episode in a email every week.
Exactly. They can just sign the paper, and then as we get the shows made, we can go ahead and get you on a mailing list, and you will automatically receive the Dana and Travis show. So
yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And another thing I thought about too is like a podcast I listen to. There's a game that they like to play. I don't know if too many people or if any of you are familiar with Rotten Tomatoes. It's a movie critic website, and what they do is they will take a movie and they will rate it on a scale of 1% to 100%, and each percent um, is it's equal to one person who has liked the movie. So, say I think the new Godzilla movie got something like 84%. So that means 84 critics out of 100 liked the movie.
Yeah, so it's pretty much kind of a not really an average, but just an overall
Likeness.
Likeness of any specific movie. So
So thought maybe if we go down to the farmers market, we could play this game. We could have themes for the show, like this is Nicolas Cage theme, or trying to think.
Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon,
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Different actors and stuff, or different movies, or duos, or for instance, like John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. Those kind of movies. Stuff like that. But you never know. We might. We're always looking into trying to do different things, and we'd like to be taken seriously. I know a few people who listen don't necessarily take us seriously, but
I take offense to that also. For all of you who don't take me seriously, I will hunt you down.
Yeah, I will hunt you down. I will find you.
It's like taking. I'm Liam Neeson.
We could have there's your Liam Neeson.
Oh gosh.
Night there for you.
And I read one time. You have no idea how many movies Liam Neeson has been in.
He
has a very prolific list of movies under his belt.
You go to IMDb and you look him up.
Oh yeah.
It's like him and Johnny Depp are very similar. You never realized how many movies they have been in until you look them up, and it's like, wow, he was in that movie. I had no clue. Liam Neeson the same way. I think the first Liam Neeson movie I saw that had him in it was probably the Star Wars.
Really?
I think that was the first Liam Neeson movie that I recognized him as an actor. The Star Wars, the episode 1.
Well, I know for me, he was in the Mel Gibson version of Mutiny on the Bounty, which was just called The Bounty, and he was one of the sailors on the Bounty, and that was early in his career.
I was gonna say that's probably early 90s.
Probably early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
I know he started back in the mid 80s. If I remember, he did some like little roles in not very popular movies.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up and see. That's a good topic.
Yeah, just general Liam Neeson movies. But I think we can all agree probably his most famous current movie was probably Taken in that series.
That pretty much. Well, the Star Wars was a big deal.
It was, but you knew him as Qui-Gon. You didn't know him as Liam Neeson. When you saw him, you didn't think, oh, Liam Neeson's a cool actor. No, you thought him as Qui-Gon. That's who he was. But you didn't really think of him as anything else. So,
and Johnny Depp, I know he was in Platoon with Charlie Sheen, and it was a very young Johnny Depp. I think he was in some kind of a high school kids movie too.
Yeah. I can't remember. I know you have all of his indie movies. Like you have like The Ninth Gate.
Yeah.
Which that's on Netflix if you want to watch something. It's a really, really weird movie.
Kind of a paranormal, occult type show.
Yeah, and then you mentioned earlier the Blow.
Blow, yes.
Which you want to go throw that little tidbit in there real quick.
It was funny. Me and some coworkers actually. It was around noon. I was talking to a coworker about the movie Blow. I don't know how we got on the conversation, but I've never actually seen Blow, and I've always heard it's a good movie.
I have. I've seen it.
I know it's based on a true story. The guy got hooked up with Pablo Escobar, the Colombian, drug dealer.
Well, he started off. He just got really hooked into drugs.
Yeah, but eventually he got into the big time when he got with Pablo Escobar, which I think the Colombian army and our special forces finally hunted him down after we put like a $50 million bounty on his head. It's funny how many friends will give you up for
$50 million.
$50 million.
Oh yeah,
That
Yep.
makes life very dangerous when you got that kind of a price on your head.
Yep, that's for sure.
But anyways, so the character that Johnny Depp played, the drug dealer, he was released from prison today. It was almost kind of eerily, because that was my second conversation today when I was talking to another coworker. They're like, "Oh yeah, he was released from prison today. My husband just called me." I'm like, "You're kidding me?" Yeah, it was like 4 hours ago. And then I'm thinking back, yeah, that was about the time that I was talking to this other guy about the movie Blow. So
Yeah, so everyone was,
weird.
everyone's talking about Blow today. It's
so
kind of
I think
interesting.
he did like 30 years,
Oh yeah, yeah,
but no, he's out now.
interesting. But yeah, going back to Johnny Depp movies and stuff, he's always he has quite a portfolio of
Oh yeah, and
movies
there's
he's done.
movies that you wouldn't even like Edward Scissorhands, because that was a big one for him.
Yeah, I hated that movie.
I did too. It was
To me,
it was kind of creepy.
it was not even so much creepy. That the reason why I didn't like it. I didn't like it for the fact that.
Was that a Tim Burton movie?
Yeah, so I think it was.
I don't like Tim Burton movies.
Well, I like some Tim Burton movies, but Edward Scissorhands to me, it was just people see this. It's like this occult. It's once again like this. It created like this culture. I don't know. It's to me that movie represented everything that's just really dark and.
But Tim Burton movies are dark.
Yes, they are, but Edward Scissorhand was probably the icing of the whole Tim Burton cake, even though it was one of the original, one of his original works of art.
Yeah, well, and that catapulted him to really the big time.
But his biggest movie of all time will always be Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he'll never top it, in my opinion. I don't think he'll ever top that one. I mean, that in itself has become its own entity in itself. They're still selling merchandise of Jack Skellington and stuff like that. But yeah, well, I don't know if any of you know. I know I post something about it on Facebook every now and then, but Dad doesn't really talk about it much. But we have a cousin who she is an actress, and she is currently engaged to Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it's again, I tell people at work, and they kind of look at me like
You're crazy.
I'm on something. No,
And same here. I tell people at my work, and they don't believe me.
But our cousin is engaged to Johnny Depp, and Travis and I have actually both met this cousin, and she's been in some pretty big movies.
Yeah. The Stepfather, Pineapple Express, Never Back Down. You can go on Netflix right now, and you can watch Never Back Down.
Rum Diaries with Johnny Depp.
That's where they met. That's the Rum Diary. They met on the set, and it was during that when he got divorced. Johnny Depp got divorced from his. No, they weren't ever married.
Yeah, I don't think they were.
They
married.
just had they had 2 kids. I know that, and but they met on the set, and I remember the day we heard that they were dating, and we were like, wait, what? She's dating Johnny Depp?
And like right after Pineapple Express, she was really big into the Maxim magazine.
I remember
photo spreads.
That's where I first heard of her. Dad came up to her. He's like, he held up this cover of this girl on Maxim magazine. He's like, do you know who that is? I'm like, no. He's like, that's our cousin. I'm like, no way. And I'm like, what are you doing with that magazine?
Hey, she was really big into that for a couple of years.
Yeah, she started off as a model. I know that much. And then she lived in Texas. That's where she was born, wasn't she?
Yeah, she spent most of, I think, her childhood, with her father in Texas. So.
And then she ended up moving out to California.
Yeah, moved out to the big city to make it big, and she did.
Yep. It's just weird us talking about that a little bit. It's just weird telling people like, yeah, we have a celebrity in the family, and not just a little celebrity. I mean, we have a pretty big celebrity.
Yeah, and just imagine whenever the Dana and Travis show gets in syndication, and we're these huge stars. little kids, from our family will say, "Geez, those were our cousins." When we're on the cover of Rolling Stone or
I don't know if I want to be on Rolling Stone.
yeah, okay. Well, how about People magazine? Okay, National Enquirer, is that?
I'm looking more for National Geographic.
Oh yeah, cool. Very credible piece of literature.
Yeah, they can observe us while we create our little art and culture,
Definitely.
which is made in my bedroom in my spare my spare bedroom in my duplex.
So anyway, the farmers market thing. Just kind of keep tuned, and we'll let you know if we get anything going on that. So, what else do you have to talk about, Travis? Anything going on? News topics?
There's a lot of different things going on in the news this week. But before we get to there, I've been really big into this game.
Okay.
We're talking about possible ways we can get famous. I'm just going to go back to that for a second.
Okay.
So I started playing this game. It's called Hearthstone. It's a card game. It's very nerdy stuff.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons.
No. It's from the creators of Warcraft, Blizzard. So everyone knows what the World of Warcraft is. It's like whenever you think of nerdy gamer, that's the first thing you think of. No, basically they turned that game into a card game, and it's became a big thing. Where I'm getting with this is I did a tournament last night, and I did horrible.
Yeah, that'll get you famous pretty quick.
Oh yeah, hey, I had the chance to win $500. Okay.
Okay.
Get off my back. No, anyway, I just
never got into this card game concept stuff. It was
if you have to try it. I told Carmen, I said it's a fun, addicting game, and I introduced her to the game, and she was like, "Oh, what's so fun about that game?" And I was sitting in here playing it one night, and she came in here. She sat down at the back of the room where we record this podcast, and she's sitting there, and I hear the sound come from her iPad, and I turn around and look at her. I'm like, "Are you playing Hearthstone?" And she looked at me. She just gave me this look like, "No."
Do you remember the night we were going up to a show with the Bluebird in Bloomington or something, and we were kind of killing time before the show, and we walked into the toy store thing at the square. And you talk about a nerd convention.
It was.
And the guy behind the counter was the top nerd.
Yeah, he was your typical. Well, hey guys, this is what we're gonna do. We have this card over here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna power it up with this thing over here, and then you got the mages and the warlocks over in his corner, and what we're gonna do is they're gonna fight to the death, and the winner of that gets the gold rubies. And
yeah, it was painful to watch, and you're just thinking, man, dude, you need to get a life.
Well, the thing is, I can say I can be nerdy at times. I'm not full blown nerd. I like video games. I like tech. That's my deal. I like tech. I like technology.
There is no tech in a card game.
You'd be surprised how the mechanics of the game, how it works. There's technology in it, and it's a big thing. And Carmen told me the same thing. She's like, "I don't know what's so fun about this stupid game." And she sat back here and she started playing it. And now, when she's not on Netflix, she's playing Hearthstone. That's how addicting this game can be. And I said it's not just your regular. It's entertaining. It's good for killing time, and there's people who do it professionally, and they're making money with it. It's kind of funny. Okay. But anyway, I'm just trying to spitball different topics and stuff here for the show. Might as well just keep it on going.
Yeah, no, that's cool. We're on a roll here.
Yeah. So anyway, if we want to get to some news topics, I guess we can. I just don't like getting into the very serious stuff, because that's where it gets kind of boring, and then we possibly say things that's going to get us in trouble, and
yeah, that's never good. But we try to keep the news light. I mean, it's not all dark and.
Yeah, well, But do you want to go dark?
Well, yeah, but we don't have to keep it dark. We don't have to keep it in the basement. We gotta, let it breathe a little fresh air every now and then.
Okay. Well, you had an idea for a topic earlier this week, and let's get into that just a little bit.
Now, which topic are you referring to?
Your topic was referring to, what our cultures became to as what our cultures become because of the internet and or Facebook or YouTube comments. Twitter's a big one.
Yeah.
Just the nature of what you will find on a normal day on Twitter or Facebook. What would you find?
Well, a little background.
Dig.
Dig. Okay. I'm just gonna.
Just lay it all out.
I generally try to. Facebook is a great thing, and it is also, in the same respect, a not so great thing. It can breed situations.
It can bring people together. And can also tear you apart.
Yeah, and I don't think, and it's as far as part of the culture, never before have we ever been able to really, project, certain feelings about different topics or likes, dislikes. I mean, that's what is Facebook. It's likes and dislikes. That's all it is.
Yeah, and it tends to weigh more in one direction than another. But you can also say this is a reflection of our reality now. When you turn on the TV, when you turn on the news, how much of the news is actually good stuff?
Yeah, and even today, there's a lot of news on Facebook. Of course, it's not traditional, the 6 o'clock news with Walter Cronkite. It's a whole conglomeration of different, blogs or personalities.
Yeah.
So, which is good because you get, several different takes on a particular topic.
But nowadays, it's just become a big collection of people who names aren't that big.
People can be anonymous, also,
Yeah.
and on the same token, they can become very public also. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I understand.
But I think probably, and of course, you get a lot of political things on Facebook, and just all sorts of different, religious, stuff that's just not, some kind of a funny video of a goat licking an electric fence or something like that. And you gotta love that stuff.
Yeah.
I guess to the beans of it, I had actually posted, something on Facebook, and generally, I know myself, we all have different likes and dislikes. I have friends virtually from all over the world.
Yeah.
I have friends in different countries. I have friends who participate in different religions. I have friends that are atheists that don't even believe in religion.
And you know what? That's perfectly fine.
Yeah. And and they will post things, whether it's the Dalai Lama or an atheist that says that there is no afterlife and it's just when you die it's over. To the Confucius and the Buddhist and just the Catholics, the Protestants, everybody's got a different take on things.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ideas and theologies out there, and I just want to go back to, it's okay to do what you want. We have the free will on this planet to do what we want. Now, because I say that, I personally have certain beliefs towards a certain thing, and I'm not gonna say. I'd like to consider myself a Christian. That's what I
pushers and you shovers, the scurrying, the worrying. I'm gonna have some fun. Well, I was born very young. I grew up in me cradle. Chances are that when I die, it'll be something fatal. So if you see me running, keep up by my side. That hurricane is coming, and there ain't no place to hide. Get your own life, this one's mine. And stop it where the sun don't shine. I'm done with you begrudgers, you pushers and you shovers. The scurrying, the worrying, I'm gonna have some fun.
Some type of religious post that I think necessarily agree with. Am I going to type in the comments section, you're going to burn in hell? No.
No, because that's not right.
Yeah, and plus, if this person, and that's the next thing, if somebody is my friend, whether they're from Nepal or Germany or Bolivia or wherever, if they are my friend, I'm going to not necessarily, agree or support what they say, but I'm not going to antagonize either.
No, it's not good to, and plus there's a big reason why people have ill feelings towards religion to begin with. It's because there's been too many people who have stepped too far in a particular direction, and it doesn't matter what you believe. Everyone has done it. Not one person is not guilty of it. So, I mean, there has been people who have been too pushing, on someone who just couldn't let someone figure it out on their own, and then people who push it onto them, that pushes them away.
Yeah, and bottom line, I mean, I don't just, like for my part in it, nobody's going to change me in my religious views, in my political views, period. So don't try to convince or convert me, because it ain't going to happen.
But the thing is, though, you believe in what you believe because you have a belief system. This is what you run through your own logic and your own, in your own experiences that you've had to have an opinion and to, in some cases, have fact.
But I think also it's very important, though, to respect people with opposing opinions.
Yes.
If you're their friend. Now, if it's somebody that I don't particularly like, that I just absolutely don't agree with, which those people are out there, I might, say something that's a little bit negative.
But now, see, this is where this Facebook culture comes from, and I'm just going to challenge you a little bit. I have people on my Facebook. If they're listening, I want you to hear me out on this. I don't want to argue with you for the sake of arguing. I just like what Dad said. I know I am probably not going to change your mind. You are convinced. You are dead set.
Yeah.
The only thing I can do is maybe express an opinion every now and then. But if I can see some pushback on it, which I am guilty of this, I have gotten myself all worked up on a Facebook post or something. I've got myself all worked up, and I've said some things that maybe I shouldn't have said, because that's the problem. The problem is that people, most generally, when they see something they don't like, they have to respond to it. They can't just be like, okay, well, that person has a reason for the way they believe, or the things that they believe in, and who knows why they think that way. But the problem is that now we're getting to a point where people have responded so negatively towards things now that people have to start permanently pushing back. So they're getting tired of it. They don't want you pushing back on them anymore. So what they're going to do, they're going to shut you down.
Well, I think too, it just, it's just a matter of fact, this country has become so polarized. There is no middle ground anymore.
No, it's either you're one thing or you're not.
Yeah. And neither side is going to give an inch, on anything.
No, and at this point, and what I think, I don't even know which side is right or wrong anymore. It's just become it's just all become so jumbled up and just a big mess that I think in the very end, I don't think any one person is absolutely wrong. I think it's just a combination of circumstances and situations that have created this. It's basically dumping a bunch of Tic Tacs into. It's like dumping a bunch of red Tic Tacs into a bunch of red and white Tic Tacs, and then you tell them to pick out so many of these and put them over here. You can't do it because it's going to take you forever, and not one person will be like, well, why are we doing this to begin with? Or, why are you picking just the white Tic Tacs? Why are you picking just the red Tic Tacs? It's like, why don't we just pick them all and then be done with it? No, it's just going. It might be a bad analogy, I know, but
I like Tic Tacs.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just like
They
I
make
said.
your breath nice and fresh.
Okay, how about this? I know that there was a thing back in the day where people used to take a punch bowl and dump a bunch of prescription pills in it, and then people would just start grabbing whatever. And
Wow.
it's a real thing.
What if you grabbed an upper and a downer, and then it turns out that it didn't do anything for you because they cancel each other out,
or just messed you all up? Which that's the point. That's the whole point. Is that we've gotten things so mixed up and confusing that not because I've seen people who have one certain view, but whether they realize it or not, some things I've noticed some people say actually are beliefs of another system, but if you tell them that, they don't believe you.
Well, you have a lot of dis and misinformed people in the world that have no business talking on any subject.
Well, and I'll be the first to admit that I'm probably not qualified to be talking about this subject at all. I'll be the first to admit that I'm probably going to make someone listening to this upset, and I'm just going to say if I do, I'm sorry. And
But I think, and to me, you have your Facebook friends. If somebody's truly your friend, respect them. And that's.
Yeah, whether it's, I think we've gotten all. I'm just gonna say for instance, Christians get a bad rap of certain things nowadays, and I look at some Facebook friends and I'm like, okay, you're saying some really negative things about this, but this is what I am. But I'm your friend, so does that mean you are referring to me as well? Because I happen to be a part of that, or are you just saying just everyone else except for me?
I just think it's just a lot of times it's just a way just to get it in a cheap sucker punch kind of.
And that's how I feel. But then again, that's where I start letting my emotions take over me, and that's when I say stuff that I shouldn't say. And it's just like, okay, they think this way because they've had bad experiences with someone else, and this is the reason why they think this. But at the same time, it's like, well, it's just like, I don't think I've ever done anything to you to make you feel this way about me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just the Facebook culture. I just think, okay, bottom line. Here we go. Okay. This is what I think.
Gonna wrap this up.
The internet has changed the way we think and feel about things permanently.
Oh yeah.
Before we had news, we had the radio, and we had television, and before television we just had radio, and before that we just had handbills that people would go out, and then before that it was just people going out, town square or whatever, and they would just talk to each other. They would just tell each other by mouth. But now we have this thing called the internet, and the internet is connected to every single corner of this planet.
Yeah, you can't hide from it. We
are getting information from people in Africa. We're getting information from people in Scandinavia.
It's all real time. It's just like somebody sitting in the chair next to you.
Yeah, like we're doing right now.
Exactly.
So you're getting all this information, and people. I mean, I'm just saying this stuff that we're talking about right now did not exist 20 years ago.
No, and it definitely has revolutionized and changed forever our culture and society.
Yes, I mean think about this the Santa Barbara shooter for a second. Think about him. What was some of the things that he was talking about in his manifesto? He was talking about how unfair things are, and he just started going off on us. Well, first of all, I think it's very disturbing that I have access to his manifesto.
Yeah, well, he went straight to YouTube with it.
Yeah, I find that disturbing. Not for the fact that he wrote one, it's the fact that I have access to it. Someone else like him is going to read his manifesto.
But you know what? And this, I don't know, this is probably predates you, but when the Unabomber was out doing his thing, Ted Kaczynski, living in that little one-room cabin in Montana, blowing people up through the mail, he sent his manifesto to like the New York Times, or well, of course, this is before internet. And that was his way of communicating his thoughts with the rest of the world. And the newspaper actually, for years he was just kind of this ghostly shadow that they just couldn't,
They
nail
couldn't
down.
pinpoint him. Yeah.
And then they get this big long letter. It's like, okay, let's draw him out. And yeah, they ended up catching him. But it was like if you would have bought that print space in the New York Times, it would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But he sent in, he probably got a one-way ticket onto there.
Oh yeah, they printed it, and then they obviously ended up catching him. But
yeah. But like I said, that's now. Imagine if he had the internet.
Oh yeah, he'd be on YouTube.
He'd be on YouTube, and he'd be sharing his thoughts, and
he would have had his little hotspot in his little Montana cabin with his iPhone or whatever, posting his garbage.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think that's just the problem now, is that we have too much access to this information.
And
now, information is good. Information is one of the best things that we have knowledge. The internet has had good things, good things have come from internet. People can get smarter now. But the thing about that is that people can also get dumber.
Yeah, there's lots of good stuff on the internet, and then there's lots of just trash, and so just kind of, when you're reading or posting things on Facebook, just kind of before you hit send or whatever, think about what you're doing.
Yes, because there's been
and who you're going to impact, or whose feelings you might hurt.
Yes, and there's been many times, I mean, even recently, that I have responded to things that were negative, and I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have said things.
They probably had it coming.
Well, whether they did or not, I still shouldn't have said anything.
No, you're
and
right.
and I wish that more people would start being this way. You don't have to post everything, negative. You don't have to be that way. Whatever happened to, just posting positive things?
Yeah, and and I generally, and I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of it. Occasionally, I do, post something that's, not positive, but for the most part, I do try to be a little bit lighthearted. And
yeah,
I know, just like this past weekend, there were some climbers got killed on Mount Rainier. I posted stuff about it because I felt like it affected me personally.
Yeah, because you've been there.
I've been there. The company that was involved was the company that I used, and which is also just for everyone's.
It's an entry level. It's an entry level mountain to climb when you're wanting to get into climbing.
It's the training ground for the Himalayas. Anybody that climbs in the Himalayas, they start on Mount Rainier. In 2010, I took an 8-day climbing course with the company Alpine Ascents. And they're one of the premier mountain climbing companies in the world, based out of Seattle, Washington. Mm-hmm. And it's been a terrible year for them. They were actually heavily involved in the avalanche on Everest, a month or so ago, and they lost 5 Sherpa guides on Everest. So in the last month or so, they've lost 7 staff members and 4 clients.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a big, and that does, that's a big deal to me. It's like, wow.
Well, they are a small company. If you really think about it, they're a small world company. I mean, they're not too small, but
they've got a very targeted niche.
Yeah, they have a targeted audience.
In their niche, they are huge.
Yes, they are the top dogs of their of what they're and what they do.
Most all of the premier mountain climbers in the world, most of them have guided people like me on Mount Rainier when they were younger.
And that's really cool. I mean, most of those people have books out now.
Yeah.
Which is really neat.
Well, let's move on to something else.
Yes. Be positive.
Be positive.
I'm gonna work on it. If all of you can try to work on it too. How about that?
That sounds like a good thing.
Say hi to your neighbor, pat him on the back, give him a hug, do something. no matter what.
Yeah.
All right. What you got?
Anything else in the news? The only other thing that
Let's go something positive. Let's do. I got the perfect story.
Okay.
Want me to take this?
Take it. You got it.
All right. It's not necessarily positive, but it's a funny story. Okay, so there was a airline that was flying to Pennsylvania, I believe, but it was the flight that couldn't have went any more, more inconvenient to the people on the airline.
Okay.
It first started off, the plane. Sorry about that. Kind of had like a little yawn thing in that word. They start off before they even took off at LAX. They spilled a bunch of fuel out on the tarmac, and they had to clean that up. So that put them 2 hours behind, I believe. So they got the plane up and going. Some people noticed that there was a lady. They said she was in her 50s. Had a full-grown, what looked like to be a labradoodle on the plane.
Those are cute. One of my bosses has a labradoodle.
Yes, labradoodles are
they're awesome dogs.
Yeah, they're awesome dogs, but not on airplanes. This dog was not a CNI dog, but it was an anxiety support dog. Any one of us can go to a doctor, claim we have anxiety problems, and we can get a note saying that we can take a dog wherever we want.
But
into a restaurant, into cabs or
there are
wherever.
some times that my dog actually gives me more anxiety.
Yes, and in this case, it gave everyone anxiety. So it started off. They were already late leaving.
Yeah, the flight's late.
They're up in the air.
Connections are all screwed up.
They're up in the air. 2 hours in. There was a passenger on the plane who was a producer of the Rich Eisen podcast. He said that that he saw this woman and her dog, and he went back to the back of the plane for some reason, and he saw that there was a paper towel on the floor, and he kind of looked at the flight attendant and said, "Well, what's with that?" And she's like, "Oh, the dog relieved itself, but it wasn't stinking, so so the dog must have peed on the plane, and they just covered up with the thing, and there was some dust on it."
Okay, he peed on the plane.
Yes. Well, first he went back up the front, and then all of a sudden he said he started seeing people start making their way to the front of the plane, and apparently the dog went in the back and started crapping all over the plane, not just one. Too, but I guess it started crapping all over the back end of the plane.
He was probably stressed out and was very.
And this is
had a bunch of anxiety.
And this is a labradoodle. This is a decent sized dog.
Yeah, I understand where you're going here. Okay,
so they said
a large pile,
and they said it started smelling so bad, people started projectile puking on the plane.
You know what? Now let's take a little time out here. I was on a flight. I think it was the last time that I flew overseas. There was a baby that puked all over like the first row of people. They didn't land the plane for that.
But, so they had to land.
Okay, I jumped ahead.
They had to land they decided they were going to do an emergency landing. They landed the plane in Kansas City. They had to have a hazmat team come onto the plane to clean it up. Because apparently the dog crapped all over the back of the plane.
And that baby puked all over everything too, but there was no hazmat team, and it was a nasty, smelly puke.
The point is, dogs have no place on an airplane. This woman went her entire. What you're saying is this woman. Apparently, this woman must have been seasoned. She's comfortable enough to take her dog onto an airplane. She must have been flying most of her life on this plane, but she had this dog. I mean, it was an anxiety support dog. Anyone can get one. I can go get one right now. I can go to a doctor, say that I'm stressed out and I can't live my life without a dog. Let me ask you something. What do you think people back in the caveman days did? What do you think the Irish did when they were starving? You're like, oh, I'm having problems. It would only make it better if I had an anxiety support dog with me. You know, come on. They passed a law in California now where they can allow dogs in restaurants. Now, let me say something. Those dogs go in there and they sit on the booths. They get their dander. What if people on that plane are allergic to dogs? What if people in the restaurants are allergic to dog dander? You know, that dog's butt is sitting on a thing and people are planting their feet there. You know, anxiety support, it's becoming a problem. And they actually admitted that it is becoming a problem.
Yeah, I think that possibly in this case, and we here at the Dana and Travis Show fully support, um, the CNI dogs and other
Yes,
support type.
but not anxiety dogs.
Yeah, I think this, and then I understand where you're going with the
Now,
anxiety.
if that woman was legitly blind and she needed a dog to see, I'm perfectly fine with that.
I think probably with the anxiety support animal, maybe there was something. I mean, maybe that's a little drastic. Maybe something else could be used to help relieve the anxiety.
Or how about this? How about she does
Maybe
not
something.
get on a plane? If that makes her that stressed out, she can drive. Find someone to drive her. You can get a cab. I'm sure you could probably hire a cab a lot cheaper than flying on. Oh, how about this? Take a train. How about take a train across the country? You know, you're going to be spending money on that too.
Okay, let me ask you this: would you be against a anxiety support ferret?
No, because they don't belong on planes.
I think it is kind of weird that, I mean, it's much more commonplace now. People, and I think pretty much the airlines will sell a seat to anyone that will pay for it. But I think you see animals on planes much more, and maybe it's because of the.
Did you know if you go on Google right now and you type in miniature horse on airplane, someone brought a miniature horse onto an airplane and they called it their anxiety support horse.
Well,
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
There is such thing. There are anxiety support miniature horses.
All I know is that baby puked all over the front row of that airplane.
Yes, but are people allergic to babies?
No, but it sure did stink.
Yes. And you know what? I've been around some dogs that have pooped in the back corner,
But
and it stinks up the entire room.
But is it an issue of just the smell? I mean, I
No,
know you said that they had a hazmat team
It's
come
the
in.
principle of having a dog on the airline when it does not belong
Wait.
on an airline.
Were we not going to pick a happy topic?
Well, it was until you started challenging me. I'm sorry. I mean all this in good fun.
Yeah,
No.
This is all just banter. So.
Yeah. No, but seriously. Let's get real. Getting real. Do we need dogs on airlines?
Well, I think like I said, if someone has a physical disability,
yes, and they need one.
Yeah, that is a completely different story. The anxiety thing.
You know how many people I know who claim to have anxiety disorders?
Yeah, this country has gone way overboard with the anxiety bit.
I mean, I said it'd be one thing if you actually had a real problem, but how many people do you know that actually get on airplanes, and airplanes do make them stressed, and magically no one's dead
You know what I saw?
after you get off an airplane because of your anxieties?
I saw just yesterday where at some airports rather, they've got dogs like in the terminals to calm down passengers.
Yes. Do you also know that in the same airports where they used to have the smoking areas, they took those out and put dog pooping stations there?
I think that's probably a good idea.
Really? Do you realize the same people who are doing this are the same people? No, never mind. Not going there. But I mean, seriously. I mean, to make the argument that I said people are allergic to dogs. That person on that plane who brought that dog onto that plane is not taking in consideration of other people around him who might have had a bad experience with a dog. Look at that one video a couple weeks ago with the kid who got drug off his bicycle and got shaken. And that heroic cat came to the rescue. What if there's someone who had a bad experience with dogs, and this person brings a dog onto the airplane who Doesn't need to be on the airplane.
Well, I would hope in that situation, maybe the personnel on the flight, the flight crew would be, helpful in maybe separating, if somebody did have a problem, because a lot of times these airline flight crews are so helpful.
Or you could just not have the dog on the airplane, and we can bypass all of that stress.
Okay, point well taken.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, are we gonna die a horrible death if we don't have a dog with us at all times? No, we survived all throughout humanity.
Yeah, I think.
Since we've been alive without dogs next to us every moment of our lives.
Yeah, I think that, and the point you're making, I think there are much better ways to deal with anxiety. If it's to the point to where you have to go to that extent to keep your anxiety intact, maybe you should try something. There's surely got to be something else that you could have.
Yeah, well, okay, there was a story of a woman who had her dog in a restaurant. Her husband was sitting across the table from her. So what you're saying is that dog can be there,
Well,
but her own husband can't be her stressor or her unstressor
okay,
enough.
I see where you're going. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that dog there is the only thing that can prevent her from having an anxiety attack. The husband, no. Yeah, there's no way, unless he is the stressor. But
Yeah, I was just going to say that. What if he is the source of the anxiety?
But when you break it down to its core, the husband's there, the dog is there, so that husband has no control over his wife's anxiety, but the dog does. She might as well be married to the dog. At that point, I mean, what she need the husband for?
I'm all for self-medicating, so.
I'm just well, like I said, I don't want to make a big deal about this, but I think
No,
that
I think
it's
you're
just
making a very big deal out of this.
okay. I'm making a big deal about this, but it's just because of the fact that people. I mean, whatever happened to just getting a Game Boy? If you're that stressed on an airplane, get yourself a Nintendo DS.
Or a couple Xannies and just go to sleep.
Yeah, or put your iPod in, get some noise canceling headphones, put some tunes in.
Yeah, put the
You
little
you don't have
mask
to have
over your eyes and just
Yeah,
sit there and just
there's
relax
things
and
you
chill.
can do. There's things that are there to help you get through this. That dog being there is, yes, it might be helping you, but there's other people around you that dog might be affecting negatively. So, in the very end, that dog is just making things worse than making things better.
Okay.
Simple. Why can't people see it?
Just respect your surroundings.
Yes.
Be respectful.
Yes, be respectful. Who needs who needs a dog around you at all times? Just be respectful. That's what kinds. It's a narcissism.
Yeah.
At its finest.
Well, let's move on to something else. Do you got anything else at all?
Okay. Well.
I think we've about covered this. The dogs.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
On the service dogs in there. The anxiety.
I told
dogs
myself
in there.
I wasn't going to rant. I told myself, I was like, okay, try to make this more funny than ranty. Oh, it didn't work. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Well, I'm trying to think. Was there a more happier story?
Well, I mean, I don't know how happy it is because she's dead now, but
We're okay. Put your seatbelts on, everyone. We're going down another road.
That being said, Alice the maid from the Brady Bunch died today.
Yeah, I saw that. I believe she was 88.
Yeah, she was 88. I think she actually, and it is kind of sad, she fell and hit her head. But I did hear one cool thing driving home from work tonight. I don't know if the DJ on whatever station I was listening to said that he was friends with the husband of the actress that played Jan, Eve Plum. She was the the middle sister that was always overlooked. And
Are you serious?
yeah, I'm dead serious.
Well, you want to hear what I heard today?
Well, let me finish this. But he said that Eve Plum said that how of all the cast members on the Brady Bunch, Alice the maid kept track of everyone, kept in touch with everyone, and was a part of their their childhood and their adult lives up until she died. I thought that was kind of cool.
Now you want to hear what?
Yeah. What else?
Okay, so on the Adam Carolla podcast, they have a worker there. His name's Kalen Bean. His dad is Michael Bean, Mr. Bean.
Okay.
He dated Jan.
Whoa.
I heard this today.
The son of Mr. Bean.
Yes.
Okay.
His dad, Mr. Bean, Mr. Bean dated.
Mr. Bean.
Yeah, dated Jan.
That is creepy.
Yeah, I heard that today. We did not plan this. I'm serious.
Wow.
I heard this today, and you heard your thing today.
Yeah.
That's two different people who've.
It's just like the Johnny Depp thing and the blow. I mean,
it's a bunch of. See, it's all coming back around. Everyone, we went down a little valley, and now we're getting back up to
it's the old 7 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know what that is, but can you enlighten me a little bit?
Yeah, basically, it's a whole thing. In fact, there's one little trick that you can do on Google. You can type in somebody's name, and then it'll research. Let's say that it basically says that we're all connected to Kevin Bacon somehow.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
My college roommates, aunts, babysitters, cousins, dad went to school with Kevin Bacon.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. I just didn't understand what you were saying. Okay, yeah, I get it. I get you.
Yeah, so we're all just 7 steps away from Kevin Bacon.
My mother's brothers, sisters, brothers, aunties, uncles.
Something like that.
And they were all from Killarney.
Yeah.
That was a song.
But no, I mean, it probably not so much for you, me being the age that I am. I grew up with the Brady Bunch, and Alice, she was always there. You talk about somebody supportive. Alice was always supportive. She would cover for them kids when they did something, and she was just always the rock, of the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
You could always depend on Alice.
By the way, the Brady Bunch movie's on Netflix.
Really?
Yes. You can go watch it right now.
No, I like.
So if you got Netflix, go watch the Brady Bunch movie.
I like the original. It was always kind of cool because they would have sometimes special guest stars like Joe. Of course, and they were all dated. Davy Jones from the Monkees, he was on there on one show.
Yeah.
Joe Namath, whenever he was big.
Man.
Joe Namath was on there.
No, I just got thinking of what's his name from the Monkees?
Davy.
Yeah, Davy. He's gone. You just got me thinking of that. I was like, oh, he's gone.
Yeah, and I guess he was. The rest of them are alive. Michael Nesmith and Mickey Dolenz and Peter Tork. So yeah, Davy was the first one to go.
I saw recently where they're going to be doing they're still touring. They're going to be doing a show.
Yeah.
It's going to be without him, but man, I guess it'd still be worth checking out.
It would, but I know it's always been so. It's off, it's on, it's off, it's on with the Monkees.
Yeah.
They might do 2 shows, and then somebody gets mad, and okay, tour's over.
Well, they're going to be nearby.
Really?
Yeah. So if you're going to go check them out, you can go check them out. If you've not seen the Monkees,
I would seriously go see the Monkees.
Just like Big Bad Voodoo Daddy's going to be in Muncie.
That would be a good show.
That's some swing for all you people who do not know.
Yeah.
Some really good swing.
Yeah, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. Check them out. They're pretty cool. So,
Awesome.
So that was my little Brady Bunch thing. I just hated to see that Alice passed away, but she was 88, lived a full life, and
yeah. Can't get much. I mean, it's about right. So
the only other thing, I did see him haul off Casey Kasem on a stretcher this morning, which Casey Kasem was, kidnapped by his estranged wife, and she wouldn't let the kids see him, and da da da.
Yeah. They found him. He was in like Washington or something
Yeah,
like
so
that.
yeah, he was on an Indian reservation in Washington State, and
Yeah.
the judge finally, wrote an order that, that the kids were to be allowed to see their father. And I guess I don't know if he has Alzheimer's, but I guess he's really not, with it at all. And that was their whole crux, that, he isn't mentally capable to make any kinds of decisions like that. So.
Well, that's very interesting. Well, that was a interesting show.
Yeah, and forgive us. This was all improv tonight. We had absolutely no research done. We just pretty much winged it.
We had no iPads. We had no computers ready. We were just completely improving.
So if it was a little lengthy and rambling at times, bear with us. But
yeah, we were not prepared almost at all.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else though I really want to add to this.
I don't know. But
back to this anxiety dog thing. We're done with that.
No, but in all seriousness, no. This is going back to the Facebook thing, the anxiety thing. Just trying to, this. I don't want anyone to think that I'm insensitive, because I'm not. I understand people have issues. I've had my own issues. Dad's had his own issues.
I don't have issues.
You want to go swim with great white sharks. You deal with big cats all day.
What is the problem with that?
I'm just saying. I think you try to you try to take some stuff off your mind. So you do these crazy things.
I need some distractions in my life.
And that's your unstressor. That's what.
Wow, that's deep.
That is what you do. That's what we all have our feline rescue center. We all have our great white shark adventures.
I think it'd be cheaper to take a dog on an airplane though.
That should be a bucket list goal. Take a dog on an airplane. There we go. But anyway, like I said, just trying to I don't want anyone to think that I don't care. I'm unfair.
And I don't have any issues, just to make that clear.
And I don't have issues with anyone or anything. I just think we just need to use some common sense and be respectful of the people around you. And that all comes back around to the Facebook and Twitter. Just be respectful of the people around you. No matter how much you might disagree with them, you should always value that person as a life that is just trying to get by in this stressful world.
Well, I think, and with the Facebook and Twitter and all that, it's very easily to snipe at somebody. When you're sitting there looking at somebody person to person,
you wouldn't say half the things you would type out with your fingers.
Yeah, just the whole social media thing makes it much easier, to say things.
To say hateful things to other people.
Yeah, to say hateful things.
And I'm guilty of it.
And I think, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yes, but if I were to see some of these people in person that I don't necessarily agree with, I would be respectful to them. I would have a good conversation with them. I would be, I'd treat them like a person, because that's what they are. Yeah. They are people, and I have nothing against them. I said I don't always have to agree. That's the great thing about us living, especially in the United States. You don't have to agree with everyone on everything. And just because you don't agree doesn't mean that you're a bad person, or you're for one thing or you're for another. It's just that's the chemistry that goes on in your brain. Who's to say we're all compatible to everything? We're not. I can sit here. I don't like vegetables. Do I hate people who like vegetables? No, because that would be silly. Would it not be? I personally like meat. I love steak, chicken. There's people who hate steak and people who hate chicken.
Yeah, but you obviously though have issues with anxiety.
Support dogs. Yes, because I do have issues with that.
But no, we are all different. But whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, or in person, you should always be respectful to your friends.
Yes, and that's what we want everyone to take away from this. We don't want to take it away that we are trying to snipe back at some people who may have made some comments.
No.
it's just we were trying to tell people, just chill. That when you go to type out that comment that could get yourself in trouble, think twice. And if you do hit send, you better be expecting the consequences of what you send.
Exactly. And you know what else really bothers me? Our local Chinese restaurant caught fire this week.
You know what? I can't believe we completely glossed over that.
I know it. I don't know. Have you looked? I haven't really had a chance to look in the windows to see how much damage it was.
Well, it looks like that whole room was engulfed in flames.
Yeah, and all jokes aside, it was a very nice restaurant. The interior was, it was a nice atmosphere to go and have a meal. And I really hated that,
that happened to them. I'm really sad.
Hopefully they can get it back together and we can all have our...
Hopefully they had insurance, that covers something like that.
Oh, they surely would.
Yeah, because I hope that they can get the insurance money will actually help them get better equipment and stuff like that. Hopefully that would be the case.
It was funny because I actually pulled up to the scene before I was right behind like the first vehicle that responded, which was like the local ambulance, and I'm sitting there at the stoplight and everybody's getting out and it's kind of chaos and people are directing traffic away from the structure. So I made a quick right turn and figured, I better get the heck out of here. So I circle around the block and I'm sitting there at a stop sign. Of course, here comes the fire truck. Just comes screaming down the main street. And it flies by, and then I see something out the back, and it's dragging probably at least 200 feet of fire hose behind it.
Good one, Grant.
And I sit there and just laughed.
In all honesty, sorry, Grant. I had to throw you under the bus there. No, I'm sure you were trying to save what we all love in this community, and that was the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, and
you had no time to get that 200-foot hose out.
And I'm thinking to myself, geez, they're laying a lot of line. It must be a bad fire.
No, but in all honesty, everyone give yourself a little golf clap for Grant.
Yeah,
he works at a volunteer the fire department. So
those things happen. It was good for a chuckle.
But in all seriousness, they better be getting up soon because I want some Chinese.
Exactly. The Mongolian beef and the pork fried rice. I'm not a white rice guy. I'm a pork fried rice.
I'm a big fan of the honey chicken and the General Tso's chicken. Love it.
That's good.
They're really good.
The pepper chicken and bourbon chicken.
The pepper chicken is phenomenal.
Yeah, so now we're on to Chinese food.
Hey, that's the beauty of podcasting, baby. Baby.
Oh, gosh. And really, there's really nothing else I know we
gotta be wrapping this up. We're hitting minute and 8 seconds. Hour and 8 seconds.
We filled up a whole hour. See, our original intentions were, it's getting late, we really
30 minutes.
We haven't researched anything. Yeah, let's just do 30 minutes.
Actually, if you all don't want to hear our Facebook rant or the anxiety dog, you can just skip 45 minutes of this whole podcast. So,
yeah, I had no idea there was that much material there, but
no, believe me, there's more. I could go on this.
No, really, we're good. we know where you stand on that subject.
We can do another hour.
I'm sure we could.
But we need to end this because Carmen's probably going to get really mad. She's probably going to be wanting to go to bed soon. So,
okay.
gotta wrap this up.
Okay, well, let's give out our information again, just real quick, because we're winding things down. You can catch us on Facebook and Twitter.
And you can email us at DanaandTravisShow@gmail.com. Tweet us. Do the tweet thing. And you can, like I said, someone just message us on Facebook. You can do that as well. Don't feel like you have to go the burden of bringing up your email. You can just message us on Facebook if that's what you feel like. But I said we have the idea of the farmers market. We might try to do that and get an email list going.
Yeah, we'll keep you informed on where we're at on that, and definitely let you know whenever we are doing that, so we can have maybe a little bit of a following out there. And plus, if you're local here, the farmers market, come out if nothing else and support the local farmers and stuff. It's a cool thing. Friday evenings, in the summertime, just a nice time to go out and meet your neighbors.
Yeah. Go around, be a part of the community.
Exactly.
It's a good way. that's a good way to relieve the stress of your work day and your life. Just go meet other people who are just as stressed as you are.
Yeah, just a good thing. So definitely do that. And if you're in your own little communities and have a farmer's market, be sure to patronize it as well.
And share us.
Yeah.
Go around there. Hey, look, there's this Dana and Travis show on YouTube. You should check it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you get a chance to eat some good Chinese food this week, more power to you.
Yeah, and tell us what you want. Tell us what you like. How about this? In the comments of our video, tell us what kind of Chinese food you like.
Exactly. And also white rice or pork fried.
I like the white rice with the sweet and sour sauce. Okay, but anyway, we're gonna wrap this up, and this is the Dana and Travis show, and we are gonna leave you with this saying of the night.
All right, everybody, have a great week. We will have you with episode 5 next week. Until then,
You be careful now.